This is that bed of garlic and snap peas. It is the 2nd of May. I planted okra here. I ended up pulling the tomatoes that were there. They weren't looking good. They were really struggling. These snap peas were planted 2 weeks after these snap peas, and these are already grabbing onto the fence. I don't see any blooms yet on them, but hopefully within the week I'll get some snap peas. I love them. And this is my sad Brad's atomic grape. I am going to end up pulling this probably. I'm not sure. I think I have another one. Otherwise, it's not too late to restart a seed. Here I have more garlic and some kale. This is actually a kale that I did not pull. It overwintered, and this one was, there's nothing wrong with that stalk. The other one I pulled, it looked like it was split. And then I have spinach and more kale coming up and a couple more garlic. This is that first bed that I planted out of the pak choi that had the aphids on it. Besides the aphids, the slugs came into the bed too, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not thrilled with this crop this year. Last year seemed to be so much better. This has the sugar snap peas. Most of them are on the trellis that I put up. And then I have some red cabbage and some kale. And on the other side I have a couple of turnip. I planted arugula seeds here. I figured if I put them up higher, maybe the slugs would stay away. So far I don't see any bug activity, and the leaves are looking pretty good. This is a long bed filled with turnip and broccoli rabe and my snap peas. And look, I already have turnips coming and some weeds. I got some weeds too. This is a parsnip that was overwintered from last year, or sown from last year. I planted a few seeds last year and they came up. So I have 4 parsnip. We'll see what happens, because last year they didn't do so good. This is slug damage, you can see. I put down Sluggo, but we've had a lot of rain and the slugs love the wet weather. Okay, here I have broccoli, and it looks like broccoli rabe, and of course some more chamomile coming up. It didn't look so bad on that side, but on this side they're kind of So we'll see what happens. I have more chives that I planted last year. Chives are supposed to do well with carrots, and I had carrots in this bed last year. So I still have my black cherry, and I have a sweetie that I planted out. And these guys don't look like they had any problems with the frost that we had the other night. I covered both of them. And that is a purple Russian. And then I have more peas, which I have to help find the trellis. And these are my onions that overwintered, or some of them, the larger ones. The smaller ones are Walla Walla onions that I replanted. If you remember the pepper plants that I overwintered last fall, this is the 3rd one to die. It's pretty much all brown. There's really nothing left that's alive on it. The one next to it, this one might have a shot. I can't tell. It's too early to tell if there's any new growth. That might be some new growth starting right there. I don't know. It's hard to tell. So I'm not pulling it yet. I'm gonna wait to see what happens. Maybe I'll give it some magnesium sulfate or Epsom salt. See, there's another little leaf that might be coming up down here. It's just, I don't know. I can't tell. I thought I was going to be able to overwinter some peppers this year, but that's not going to stop me from trying again next year. So we'll see what happens with this guy. And I have more snap peas because they are my favorite. So we'll see if they come up and grab onto the fence. I have, of course, more chamomile, a couple of onions. I have some beets and some tomatoes that I planted in the ground a little bit too early, but they are so far okay. And these were the first brassicas that I planted out. And I put them under the row cover. And they are doing pretty good. In hindsight, I would have planted more out. I should have. Because I think I lost one. And these guys seem to like the fact that they were in the ground a little bit longer. They seem to be stronger plants than I have up front. In this bed I have carrots and radishes. I was not going to plant a lot of carrots this year. I wasn't going to plant any carrots this year. But I said, okay, we will try it one more time. So we'll see how they come up. And I have more snap peas. And then I have more snap peas. And I have some onions that are actually going to flower, so I will get some onion seeds from those. This year, I'm going to try quinoa for the first time. Quinoa is a grain. It's supposed to, this variety is supposed to be a rainbow variety, so different colors. And we'll see if it comes up and how it does. I'm looking forward to it. I think this is the only tomato plant that got damaged from the frost the other night. It was a beautiful, healthy tomato plant. Hopefully it's going to bounce back. Galyna Cherry. It was the last one that I covered that night. I came out at like 12 midnight because I only found out about the frost warning at that time. So now I have an app on my phone to tell me when there's a frost warning. I took the cover off of this one and I was like, oh my gosh, look at those leaves, they look black. This is my mint that comes back every year, and I keep it in a container because if I don't, it will take over the yard. But we can make tea out of this and cook with it. It's really good. And this is my asparagus bed. Not coming up as thick as it did last year. Only sporadic little spears. And I have a couple of more asparagus that I'm going to need to harvest. This one definitely is going to get harvested today. These are my zinnias. Still waiting for the flowers to come up. I replanted those a couple of weeks ago. In this bed I planted radish and carrots that are coming up. I'm going to plant my sweet potatoes here again this year. I know I'm supposed to rotate, but this is the highest bed that I have, and the sweet potatoes did pretty good in here. I will amend the soil a little bit, make it fluffy and light, so hopefully they will grow nice and big, but we'll see how they grow. This is another Brad's Atomic Grape. Unlike the one on the other side of the garden, this one looks pretty healthy and happy, so I won't be destroyed pulling up the other one. So I have a lot of things that I need to plant out into the garden. I have a bunch of tomatoes. I have to finish planting out my flowers, my lavender. I have more zinnia. I have tomatoes and zinnia. I have variegated nasturtium and my lavender, and then I have more flowers. I have milkweed and swamp milkweed, and my unlabeled flowers. They're already my unlabeled tomatoes, which are already starting to flower, that I am going to plant out. And then I have a couple of pansies that I need to put out. I'll put those along the walk. And then I have my peppers and an okra. Not a lot of peppers. I'm not big pepper people.